Any more discussion? Okay, hearing none, we will go to number 6, compensation package for mayor of the city of Derby. Discussion, possible action. We have a motion.
Well, we're going to discuss it, right?
Oh, it's discussion, I'm sorry. Yep.
Start with discussion.
So we could start. You want to split this up? You want to start it off with the compensation package first and then the salary? How do you guys want to do this?
No, I think
That's fine. It all ties in.
Yep. Whoever's ready.
oh, Mr. Mayor, Charlie Sampson, if I could.
Go for it, sir.
So, Mark, can I share my screen? Hang on one second here.
Yeah.
I'll
Yes,
put a
you
little
can.
something up here
Yes,
that I wrote
yes,
up.
you can.
I got it, bro. All right. So what I kind of based upon investigating that I did and looking at this, what I would recommend is the first term, first year, the mayor's base salary be moved from $45,000 to $65,000. Now, what that equates to is the base salary of $45,000 was set 15 years ago in 2005, took effect in 2006. I know that we went through some tough economic times in 2008 with the housing market crash, which also crashed the stock market. But I believe that if we had raised the salary 2% each year over the last 15 years, we would actually be at a total base salary right now of $65,000. So if 45,000 15 years ago was good, and we stuck with somewhat of the CPI over the last 15 years, we would still be at a base salary of 65,000. I'd also like to see the first term city mayor be allowed to roll in the insurance. And if they do not want the insurance, like other city hall members, they get a $2,000 stipend. Now that would be based upon the city hall union contract costs. Currently today, the city hall union pays 15.5% of the insurance cost, which July 1st of 2022 goes up to 16%. I'd like to see the mayor, instead of getting unlimited gas, get a gas allowance of $3,000 a year for the mayor's car specifically. We can also, as we offer new employees today, a 457 investment account through the city administration or city administered account. But not on top of that, I would like to see the city match 5% of any contribution made by the mayor into that. Now, as other people have brought up the term full-time and what that means, and I would disagree with some folks who don't think that getting called at 10 o'clock at night and because you're off at a meeting at 8 o'clock and things that you have to do doesn't mean you're not full-time. It's a 24/7 lifestyle, as Mr. Garfalo put it. But going along with that, because we're kind of saying it's a more of a 9-to-5 type of job, I'd like to add in 3 weeks of vacation in the first year. After the first term, in the first term, the second year and subsequent years, if reelected, I believe the mayor should get better compensation. I believe that we've been doing it wrong. I believe that the mayor's base salary should get the same raises that the teachers union contract gets on the yearly anniversary of the swearing in date for the mayor. This is the only contract in the city that the mayor does not negotiate, or he or she cannot influence that raise. That's why I'd like to tie it into the teachers union contract and those raises. So for the second year and each subsequent year, the mayor would get a slight bump. The reason I say this is because if we did what we did in the past 15 years ago and just gave a flat $5,000 raise every term, we're actually giving the mayor a 3.8% raise from 65 to 70 after the first term, which actually equates to a 7.6% raise. And we're not giving that to anybody else in the town. So, I think it's just fair that if we're offering employees in this town, on an average 2.5%, that the mayor should be able to take a 2.5% raise, and it will also keep their compensation going up. So first term, immediately second year, you will get the raise based upon what the teachers from the school are getting in their contract. In the second term, you would bump from 3 weeks vacation to 4 weeks vacation, also getting once again the same raise as the teachers if you survive a first term and enter into a second. And in the third term, it would go from 4 weeks to 5 weeks vacation. The only stipulation I would put on the vacation is it's specifically stated that any unused vacation time will not be paid out at the end of your term serving as mayor.
And the
Once
5
again,
weeks is a max.
5 weeks is the max. Yes, maxed out at 5 weeks.
Very
Once
good.
again, I feel that this is fair compensation. I feel that that if we had gone this 2% raise over the last 15 years, this would be exactly where we're at, $65,000 base salary. And in this package, 65, you don't take the insurance. Now you're at 67. You get 3,000 for gas, and we're giving you a little something upon your retirement with the 457 investment account, if you so choose to take part in that.
Charlie,
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
Barbara. In this, currently the mayor gets a $5,000 expense account. Is that excluded out of this proposal,
So
or is it was it considered?
So in doing my hopefully due diligence in that $5,000 expense account, what I found is in the past the mayors have utilized that funding for things like buying flowers for the secretaries on Secretary's Day, buying meals for the town hall employees, a Christmas party for the town hall employees. That's what that $5,000 is spent on, or a majority of it is spent on. And I would only hope, because I can only hope, Barb, that future mayors will continue the tradition of doing it with that money.
Well, then maybe it would be called something else. But that was a question I had. The other question, I don't know who can answer this because I don't know the true answer, because I know that this 457 plan is new to the city. Is the city matching? Is this the percentage they're matching?
So currently the city does not match anything for the town employees. And Drew Backlick can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's a conversation I had with Drew. What I'm asking for is, because you are the mayor, we give them a little something and we match 5% of any contribution made. So that means that the mayor would have to take advantage of this 457. And if they don't, then they don't get the 5% match.
No, I understood that, but I didn't know if there was a match. I didn't think there was, but I wasn't sure. So currently
There is not.
Currently, we have a 401A for the new employees.
Right.
And there is a 2% contribution annually of the employees' annual salaries that goes into a separate account that they cannot contribute to. Separate and apart from that, they are able to contribute to a 457 that the city does not contribute anything to.
Okay.
So,
All right. That's all. Okay.
You're also gonna have to look into it. The 457 is a pre-tax. So whether that's a benefit, if that's a benefit, if they're able to write that off, I'm not sure, or that just adds to their deferred comp, I'm not sure.
So you are correct. It is a pre-tax that it goes into, but obviously they pay the taxes when they take it out. But it is a little something, and just Barb, to go along with what Andrew said, because they won't have access to the 401A that the other town hall employees do. That's why I added that 5% match of the contributions. And I'm just one other point, because I know I brought it up about pensions, and I know healthcare and all that other good stuff. Those are liabilities to the city, and that's why I stayed away from them. A pension is a liability. I get a pension if I'm in a place for 10 years. I only get a 20% pension after 10 years. It's still carried as a city liability for the rest of that person's life. And if we set a pension after 2 years, well, I'm trying to explain to the whole board that's why I'm against the pension or healthcare even. Carrying forward, because it's an OPEB, it's a liability. So I stayed away from those and did not propose them.
Yeah.
Charlie also.
Well, it's Barbara. I mean, I understand that on the pension. Obviously, you have to vest, and most employers, you're not getting a pension unless you vest after 5 years, 10 years. So that is understandable. So, I mean, that is.
I agree. I brought it up though. I brought it up last meeting, and that's why it's not on my proposal. And I wanted to explain why it wasn't on my proposal after doing my homework.
And Charlie, if the mayor who's sitting in there doesn't want to participate in that, the city's paying nothing. Or if that person's maxing out, then you're gonna do 5% of the max out,
Yes.
which could be up to 20, I think it's 20,500 right now.
Well, it depends on your age, Mr. Mayor. It does break at 55, which I just hit, and allows me to put more in. But
Right.
if they do take advantage of it, the best part about a 457 is if the mayor's out after putting money in there for 6-8 years, they can roll it over to their next career.
Yep.
I know Ron wants that. He wants to roll that over to his next career.
Yeah, I just turned 55 myself the other day. Charlie, one thing on that $2,000, if they don't take the insurance, if they're married, is it like the others get 4,000 or 5,000 or family or?
No, according to the City Hall union contract, it's a straight $2,000 stipend if they do not take city insurance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we negotiated that into our contract.
I must be thinking of the police contract or something.
Yeah.
Those
I
cops are
have a
crazy.
question. I have a question, Anita Dugato. Is the 457 already in effect with the Board of Education, or is it something that needs to be set up?
I think I'm pretty sure it's only with the city hall, Anita, police, fire, and city hall.
The school does have a compensation package, but I'll let Mr. Backlick talk about that because City Hall does have a 457 plan available.
Yes, we have a 457 in City Hall, and for city employees, I know the Board of Ed has an annuity of some sort for some of their administrators, but I'm not familiar with that. We have not been involved with any of their contracts. Those would all been just from the administrators who would negotiate with the Board of Education directly. So we do have a 457 that would be pretty easy for us to add an employee.
They're not, I don't think the Board of Ed has their own, and this is mainly for city employees.
Right.
Not Board of Ed.
Correct.
But we can verify that through Empower, but I'm almost positive that Board of Ed can't get into it.
Just out of question, Charlie, have you put in, I know 2%, I know the Board of Education gets more than 2%. Did you see what this salary would be with a 3% from 2005?
I did not, because I understand that the Board of Education in this contract that we just approved 2 years ago got a couple of years of, I believe one was 3.14.
Right.
I believe another one was 2.85, but everything else, if you look at the other, unfortunately, we don't get to negotiate those contracts, but the contracts that we negotiate on an average, we give out 2% to 2.5%. But no, I did a 2% raise. And if you want to go back to 2005 and 2008, we had unions taking zeros because of the economy. So I would have to factor zeros in. I left it a flat 2 because even the CPI is not at a 2, but a flat 2 seems to be something that to me was palatable.
But not based in reality, kind of, because they've
Well,
taken
which contract
more
would you
than.
like? Right,
Yeah.
but which contract would you like to take, Ms. Dugato? Would you like to go with the school's contract since 2005? Would you like to do town halls? Am I including zeros that everybody took? The police department just took a 0 in the last contract. Maybe we should add zeros in there too to see where we should be at. I just felt that on average was 2% across the board, and that's how I got to the 65.
Right. I believe 65, even 70 is really too low in this day and age to support a family. That's just my opinion.
All right, are we done with the compensation package? Are we done discussing that? Everybody kind of agree, or they got anything else to add?
Or does anybody else have a package they want to talk about?
Part of the benefit.
I like,
Charlie brought this one up on his own. Any of the older men or women have anything they want?
I do agree with some of what Charlie says. Am I able to screen share?
Absolutely.
Great.
Let me stop, Sarah. Hang on one
Thank
second.
you. Thanks, Charlie.
No, thank you.
All right, let's see.
Glad I put the right screen up. You guys didn't want to see the other one.
Let's see. Am I good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can see him. Okay, so you can see, you know, this, you know, I kind of tried to do a general comparison of, you know, a city hall employee, what the current mayor makes, and then a proposed compensation package. And so I would propose an $80,000 first term, you know, based on some of the CCM data that the administration has provided, in addition to a lot of the testimonies we've heard at, or not testimonies, but the opinions of the public during the public portion. I agree with Charlie. I changed this. I originally had it as our the current $5,000 increase, and then at some point it was an 8% raise. I agree with Charlie that increases based on the teachers union contract sounds completely reasonable to me. Health benefits per the city contract, vacation, 15 days first term, 20 days second term, third term 25 days, and that ends there. Gas, I have unlimited, but I would not be opposed to Charlie's $3,000 for the mayor's car. I did have the expense account in here as well as the reimbursable expense account, the 5,000 and 1,000. Life insurance per the contract. I'm crossing out the pension. I understand the liability. Note that Charlie stated, and the defined contribution plan, whether it's a 457 with a 5% city match. I also think, you know, if we have a mayor that gets to a sixth term, you know, something's going really right. And at that point in time, I would propose, you know, the next set of benefits, you know, health benefits for the mayor and spouse after 10 years of service as mayor. Those are my thoughts.
Otherwise, I think everybody's pretty much agreeing.
Well, I don't know that I'm agreeing with $80,000,
Well, we have-
Barbara. You know, again,
Mhm.
I'm going to make the comment I made the first time we discussed it, and it's not in to be, but the mayor, there's no qualifications for the mayor, and I'm not being disrespectful. I'm not, but it's the bottom line. There's no list of qualifications to be the mayor. And your only qualifications are that you're a resident of Derby and you're an elector. I could live with 65,000, you know, because there's still expense of things that are proposed here. I don't know that we would have a 5-term mayor that could get to something along the lines that Sarah just said at starting a 6th term. But I kind of agree with most of what Charlie has proposed. Because when you at the end of the day, you know, it still comes out to be a good dollar amount for a position. And, you know, I'm certainly not minimizing the position at all, but I just you know, it's the fact, you know, there's no list of qualifications that says how you are the mayor. It's an elected position. We can't control hours. We can't do those things. So those are my thoughts on the proposals.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I think I'm more back down to the $72,000 range that I started with 3 weeks ago. I have a little room to negotiate if we can get a nice group of us to settle on one price, you know, one figure. I think we're between 65 and 72, and we've got a couple 80s there, so we just gotta rein it in. Let's discuss it.
What are you talking about though, Ron? Are you talking about all the extras that Charlie brought up and that Sarah brought up? You're just gonna say 72 and that's it, or?
Talking about Charlie, I was in favor of all that when I was discussing that, when I chimed in with him. But if we're starting to talk about salary, which it seems we are, I'm in the 72 range, 70 range, you know.
Well, Ron, it's Charlie Sampson once again. If you think about it on my proposal and go back, even at $65,000, the expense account of $5,000 that once again I hope the mayor would use for doing the right thing is actually there. So I'm back to 70 with just that alone. You put in a $2,000 stipend for insurance that they don't take, you're at 72. So we are close to your 72 with the package that I've proposed. And my only thing is, you know, when you say 65 and all of a sudden they do take the insurance, they're still at 70, and that insurance could cost the city upwards of, you know, $29,000 for a family plan minus the 15.5% they would have to pay based on the city hall union contract. So it's pretty lucrative package if you ask me overall. And once I'm just going to go back to, this is why we asked for a package and not just set a straight salary for this thing, because in the totality, for the position of mayor of the city of Derby, it's better than the salary of the city of Vansoni, if you ask me, the total package. It's up there with par with some of the data for CCM for the other towns that rate close to us.
No, I think that's good. Like I said last time, the mayor of Ansonia is right now between 70 and 72, and he's on his third term, and they have 6,000 more residents, you know.
Right.
Agree, Ron.
Do you think you should go to a subcommittee with the proposals from Sarah and Charlie, kind of come up with one or two proposals, bring it up to the board? I personally can see this going on and on month after month because there's a bunch of different ideas. But I think if you guys can come collectively together and put a package together and then have the board.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I'm going to make a motion that we accept the proposal as I stated.
Okay, do I have a second?
I second Jim DiMartino.
All right, any discussion?
Yeah, I think if we continue it on and on, we're going to get further apart instead of closer together.
I think that I think that we are that we're close, and it would be nice to go to committee to iron out the last details before we vote on it.
Any more discussion?
Where are we at, the 65 with Charlie's proposal? Is that where we're at?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Any more discussion?
I just had on Charlie's proposal where it said that it was yearly for the increase, but it said at swearing in, which are a year apart, because they get sworn in every 2 years, and the increase is yearly. So I just
No,
wanted
it's
to point that wording out.
It actually says the anniversary
Right.
date, the anniversary date. So that would be
So
if you get sworn in January 1st, a year later is January 1st again. That's when you get your raise.
Anniversary date of swearing in. So you're just saying every year there's an increase.
Every year on, January, whatever, first, second, whatever we do, there would be an increase of what the current teachers union contract is calling for. So had we done this last year, the I believe 3.14% that teachers got this year, don't quote me on it. I'm going off of memory from 2 years ago. And at 55, I don't get it anymore. But so the mayor, had he got sworn in January 1st of 2020, January 1st of 2021, he would have got a 3.14%. And then had he got elected again, January 1st, let's say is the swearing in date of 2022, he would get whatever the teachers got in that fiscal year 21, 22. So they would get a raise each and every year.
As long as it's the same person. If it's a
Yes,
new mayor,
correct,
they start with
correct.
year one.
Yes,
Right,
new
right.
mayor drops back to term one. And my last hope, just for discussion, is that we don't wait 15 years to visit this again.
I won't be around.
Right.
so.
Let's face it, it can be visited every year if we want, but let's get where we're at tonight. I think it's good.
Got a motion.
I'd like to move to refer it to committee.
Well, you can't,
There's
right?
there's a motion on the floor still.
Yeah, understood.
Any more discussion?
I'd like to, yeah, have it talked about a little bit more. I think we were wide apart. They're not close at all.
Any more discussion? All right, we have a motion in a second. Let's say we do a roll call vote on Charlie's proposal. Mark?
Okay, Barbara DeGennaro,
Yes.
Anita Dugato,
No,
Sarah Vidomsky,
No,
Joseph DiMartino,
Recuse myself.
Camille Graham DiCurtica,
Yes.
Ronald Sill,
Yes,
Jim DiMartino,
Yes.
Robert Hyder,
Yes.
Charles Sampson.
Yes.
7 yes, 2 no. The motion carries.
Six yes, correct? 2 noes?
Joe recused himself.
Oh, I beg your pardon. I'm sorry. I'm reading off the paper here.
Yep.
6 yes, 2 no, 1 recused.
All right.
Mayor, I will forward this to your office immediately so that you can have Mr. Garfalo put it in the minutes.
Yeah, and then we'll get the corporate counsel just to make sure everything is all set.